Head coach over here and trainer at Toned at 50. Hi, Kathleen. Nice to see you on board. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Folks, we're about to start here in just a minute. Yeah, Melissa's here. Julie here as well. I'm forgive me. Please don't kill me. Sometimes I mess up people's names. I'm just going to say Maria. Maria, nice to see you here on board. We got about 20 more seconds and we're going to get this call going. I'm excited. I just want to tell you right up front. I'm going to let Helen here share and I'm going to zip up, but I'm telling you right now, I get excited about these. Helen knows every time we do these calls, a lot of times it's raw, it's real. We're not, there's no script. Okay. Like we have an idea of what we want to share. We know the topics, but you're going to watch us stumble and fumble because we're just keeping it as real as it can be. And every single time we host these calls, somebody comes back to us 2-3 months later and they're like, look at my gorgeous body. We're like, hey, we're looking. Good job. Good job. And it's always in that category of the ladies who at one time thought, maybe I can't do this for me. Maybe and we've heard it all. I'm too old. I'm too overweight. I have no experience. I don't understand my body. And then 3 months later, they're like, oh my God. And look, it's not that easy. Of course, there's challenges to everything. But knowing that there's solutions, knowing there's a real Helen Fong here, a real life. I call her Asian J-Lo. She can't sing, she can't dance. No, she can dance, she can't sing. But I call her Asian J-Lo because she can dance. No, she can dance, she can dance. You look at J-Lo, like you dance. You look at J-Lo, she's like 50 something and she still looks 25, right? Helen did it in a year, and guess what? So can you. Helen wants you to get up, she wants you to dance with her. Take up a couple of minutes, come on up, come on over. Feel free to shake it with her a little bit. Helen loves having a good time. This is how she always starts her day.
So much fun. So much fun, ladies. That's what we want to do. Yeah. I told my husband, you're 50, let's have fun. But if we can pass 50, that's what we should do, right? Learning, even changing our body. So.
Right. So Helen, let me do a favor. I'm gonna zip up. I want you to start off the call like we always do. Ladies, enjoy Helen Fong. She'll be here for a good solid 30 minutes and sharing her life and challenges and how she triumphs over her challenges. So you can too. And then I'll chime in after and talk a little bit about the tactical steps that you can take for yourself to get yourself from wherever you're starting to building your own version of that lean, sexy, young, athletic, gorgeous, whatever it is you want to call yourself, toned at 50 body as well. Helen, take it away.
Ellen, should we chat with the lady a little bit first, or should we just wait a little bit?
Well, feel free to just start off a little bit because there's still some people that might show up. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and just start off with your story.
Maybe you can ask the ladies a little bit about themselves, like maybe 2
If you'd like to, absolutely. You go ahead.
Kathleen, hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Thank you for showing up. Can you tell us where you're calling from?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and so we had some weird weather last week. We had a hard freeze and snow we've never had before. Wow. And so, we had really sunny weather like 2 days ago. It was almost like 78 degrees, and now it's cold again. So it's up and down, and like me,
right.
That says a lot. It's the same with me. I'm up and down. Like I sent you a message. I gained about 10 pounds this month, and because I wasn't paying attention,
right?
And I knew I wasn't walking, and I knew I was eating more, and I was eating more of the things that I know not to eat, but right. I did it anyways.
That's okay. That's okay.
Just because I thought to myself, with the whole being isolated and everything, sometimes you eat out of boredom, sometimes you eat out of stress, but I think I was just eating really because I didn't know what else to do. I'm so bored. And so I'm just so grateful and thankful to you and Alan for doing this, because I tell you what, I don't really know a lot of people who, you know, I can reach, I can reach out to you and I can relate to you, and, you know, you're successful. So what better a role model than you?
Thank you. You know, it's great that I am able to that you're sharing this with me, so I can sort of lead to do explain why I do what I do. And as you probably saw me on Tony Robbins group, right? Mm-hmm. And practicing, like you said, part of the game in life, I figure, is not to give up, not to settle. Even though there are times that we go down, we have to find a way. And you're here, but this call tells me that you're not willing to settle. You want to find solution. That's exactly what happened, how I started. I was fine when I was 30. Even though I gained 50 pounds with the kids, I was able to lose it, right? Because when you're younger, it's okay. Now 40 is okay, do some workout, and then I was able to maintain my body. But it was actually closest to 50. I was losing control, but I didn't give up. So you hear again, not give up and settle, find out what I can do. Are there solutions? All my life, I always want to know there's always solution for any kind of problem. So I didn't have solution right away, right? I tried many different things first, but then eventually I met Ellen at kickboxing, but I was curious. Curiosity is one of the things. I always curious if my body was able to look better. Like why my body is changing? Is in a way solutions? So anyway, so eventually he said, yeah, you can do it. And then he opened many doors for me. He said, oh, there are people who have done this. So that's how I started. And it was at the beginning, it was hard. It was like, are you sure I can do it? But then if not believing him, going back to where I wasn't happy. So much I would just have someone guide me. So I trusted someone who had done it. Again, Ellen competed in competitions before. So, right? So, okay, I'm going to put myself under him and let's see, because there's no other way. So that's how it started. And then when I got the result, wow, I was happy. And I said, maybe I can do something else about it. Maybe I can share with other women that they can do it too. So again, one of the characteristics about me is I love to share. I care about the people. When I see people have suffering, I wanted to be able to give them, to see if I can help them. So being authentic here, I'm here because I just love to share. And to do that, we have to have a group of people to come on board to help me. So I asked Ellen, come and do this with me together, like a midlife project for me professionally, right? Some of you probably haven't get to know me a little bit. I had been a stay-home mom for over 20 years, looking after my kids. Life was very good. But then didn't know that at this stage in my life, it's great because I am more confident, more powerful, and that's how I started. And the struggle to connect with other women is another skill set I have to learn. Public speaking, right? So I understand today's topic was really to get to know me a little bit, and then have Ellen sort of share with you how to go about using those tools to help you, the tools that he used to help me. But one of the stories that I wanted to share with you was really got me not giving up, and how powerful how image it was. When I was 19, when I was young, I did not have many people like me or go out with me in high school. And my girlfriends were really, really pretty. They have all these guys, but I didn't. And then eventually I met my husband, then boyfriend, at 19. And I realized how he was fascinated what the way I look. At one point in my life, when I was going out that day, when I was going out with him, I put on a dress, and he looked at me with so much joy, and I thought, wow, I just buy a dress and put it on. Then realized that kind of power I have for myself, to just be with somebody. And then that's why even at 50, when I lost that power of not looking good, my muscle, I wasn't overweight because I was able to lose all the weight during pregnancy. But during my mid-40, my body started to change. I didn't have any skill set to get it back, right? So, and that power I lost versus when I was 19, my husband, we had a great relationship, but then I was looking for that power back, and now I got it back by just learning skill sets to change my body. And so that's how much power it was for me, and then for you women here, because you see me with kind of joy. Yes, looking slimmer, looking leaner, but because I feel powerful, I feel free, I feel like I can do anything, right?
Do you ever feel like you could maybe slip back into the old habits, or is it easier to have these new habits?
Oh, of course. Remember when I was talking, when we were young, we're doing the same thing and it was fine. But then, of course, when I was in my 50, I was doing the same thing, but it didn't work. So I was looking for a solution. So the habits, from where I was to now, I have to change certain habits. We evolve, right? Things worked before, like we parents, mom, we have to keep changing. If you're still using the same thing, if the things are not working, you have to keep fighting. So one of the characteristics I have is I don't settle. If things are not working, I keep fighting. And how powerful it was for me to get that physical body. I know so many women might think, that image is so shallow, but it's underneath it, the power, the freedom, right? Of course, for you to go out and attract somebody, of course, your first is your body image, and then of course they get to know you. I mean, let's be honest, right? The physical image is so important. So that's how I started this transformation, is because I wanted to be powerful, just like you all here. You all know, gaining that extra 20 pounds, it makes you feel, that you sort of lost that power, right? So then I know exactly what I want. I wanted to be able to look lean again, look strong, to put on any clothes I want. In my 40s, I couldn't wear the bikinis or clothes that I used to wear. It didn't feel good, right? And then whatever you eat, it just, even though you didn't eat as much, but your body started to grow. Sometimes you can stare at water and you gain 2 pounds, right? And then if you wanted to lose a couple of pounds, you can starve yourself for 2 days. But why do you want to do that? So right now, I want to share with you, right now at this stage in my life, you might think that, yeah, right, Helen, I can tell you I can eat anything however I want. Is because there's certain tools that you can use, methods, right? That's why there are always people who are able to do whatever they want, because they have the skill set, the tools. And then Alan's going to, in the next couple of days, he's going to share with you how knowing these simple things that you have control. When you learn all these tools, the resource, that's freedom, that's power, right? So he's going to share with you exactly what you have to do. What kind of mindset do you have to be, and what kind of clarity. What is it you want? Your goal. I know exactly what I want. I want to go back to looking lean, so powerful, so my spouse can find me more attractive. I mean, being 50, And now the freedom I have, and that's why I'm here to share, and hope you all have that joy and freedom. I mean, so many of the ladies, some of them got back and to where they're actually better than they were before. I actually better than when I was in my 30 and 40, just by changing your lifestyle. And it's not that hard, by simply be a little bit more consistent and know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. And honestly, even now, working at home, you can still do it. Some of our ladies work from at home, and the results you get is just as the same. For me, I competed on stage, so I was a little bit more strict, right? It was more intense. But if you want to take a little bit more time to reach that goal, you can too, right? The process is the same. Depends how much time you want to put in. You put more effort, you get you get better results.
Right.
So, Ellen? Oh, where did he go?
There he is.
I was watching the time there. I was like, okay, we should be good for 20. Oh, no, she's calling me back. So let me run back here. Hi, everybody.
I wanted to show the ladies exactly what you have to put me through when I started their body transformation.
It was torture. Just kidding. No.
I told you exactly what I want. I said I want to be on stage. So there was clarity. There was a goal that I wanted to reach. And then also I have to change my habits. And Alan will tell you how he make me change my habits, so you can learn and become the person you wanted to achieve. All right.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
That's very cool. You know, I'm just going to mute up here a little bit because there's a little bit of static. To start off, I was getting a chance to listen in just as I was grabbing my whiteboard. As you can see, I'm a little old school. Whenever I got to draw out details, it's on a whiteboard. And as I was listening in, it's exciting because I'm hearing the challenges and I'm getting these flashbacks of exactly what you, Kathleen, and what you, Helen, were just talking about. And it's so interesting, Kathleen, as you were talking about that, as you were saying, hey, you know what? You know, sometimes here I am, I'm at home, and sometimes I just don't know what to do. But sometimes I literally just don't know what to do with myself. And like, ladies, let me ask you, have any of you had that similar situation where something like COVID's kicked in and all of a sudden your lifestyle gets totally turned upside down? Access to the gym used to be something you could do. Now maybe you can't do it. The ability to meet your friends, hang out with your friends, go to a yoga class, a fitness class. Maybe now you can't. And now we're kind of stuck going, well, crap. Well, what do I do now? What is this, right? So I'm asking this of you because this is going to be a two-part answer. Part of my answer for that question of like, what did Helen have to go through? It's a flash into her past. But everything we discuss, and Helen hears me say this all the time, I sound like a broken record with her, is the fact that every time we share something, we want to make sure it impacts you. We want to make sure it has some sort of value that you can take off with. Because at the end of every single call we have, we want to give you not just one, not just two, but a whole bundle of ideas, thoughts, actions, techniques, skills that you can literally apply starting right now, starting today. At the end of this call, we believe you should be more mentally and physically capable to go attack your goals, to get what you want out of your body, to start producing results, literally starting that process today. So as I explained, please remember that some of the things that she does, if it doesn't apply to you, if it's like, oh, sounds crazy. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that. That's cool. That's cool. You don't have to be crazy to get a toned at 50 Helen Fong body. And some of the things she does do, you might say, hey, that sounds like it applies to me. So in conclusion, as I roll out with these stories and these tactics, I always like to say, use the shopping cart method. Whatever you can use, take it. Whatever you can't, just leave it on the shelf. Yeah? Everybody good? Good? Good. All right, here we go. So to answer that question, which I think you got from Kathleen to start, like what was your beginning stages like? It was, long story short, a lot of arguing, a lot of yelling, and a lot of disagreements, which is part of a transformation process sometimes. whether it's with somebody else or with yourself. Ladies, let me ask you, and some of you feel free to throw it in the chat box if you want to. How many times have you ever found yourself arguing about going after your fitness goals? And when I say arguing, it could be a disagreement, it could be a disbelief, it could be a back and forth, or it could be a feeling of sitting on the fence. Like, should I go after it? Should I not go after it? How many of you have gone through that feeling? I know that when Helen first started with us, her feelings of going after her goal was immensely hard. And for those of you that don't know her story, I'll just say it real quick. She walked into my kickboxing class of April of 2017. Yes, I remember the month and year. Why? Because she walked in, looked super serious. And when I said, time, okay, everybody take a break, she was still going off like She-Ra off like a He-Man movie or something. She's just boom, boom. She's kicking that roundhouse kick on the bag, and the whole room stopped. And they all still looked at me like, two things. Number one, who's the new girl? And number two, why is she going so crazy on that bag? She's killing it. Like, there was no end. I'm sharing that story because the first thing I learned about Helen was a level of determination that not nobody else, but it's not common to see that. And that's the reason why I let her just continue to beat the crap out of that bag while I literally stood in the back of the room like a DJ playing God or something. I just stood up, everyone looked at me, and I'm like, I literally just did that. She's like, calm down, people. And I gave her about a good 10 seconds where she just kept going until I think Helen just realized, oh, everyone's looking at me. I guess I should stop. See, as simple as that story sounds, for me, that's an indication. And let me ask you, how many times have you found yourself in a position where you thought to yourself, I got a lot of drive. Maybe not for everything. Maybe for some things. I just don't know where to put it or how to use it. Like, how many of you guys have gone through that? You don't have to chat. You don't have to put in anything. You can just nod or just kind of shake your head. I mean, you know it yourself, right? When people have those kind of situations where they're sitting on the fence, that's where guys like me come in. And what I'm really good at doing is I'm good, thankfully, at this stage. I mean, I'm a decade into my work. I'd have to have the IQ of a salad bowl to not figure this out by now, right? There's so many people that I've helped along the way, especially with Helen. I've realized that when somebody has drive, it comes out in certain ways. Sometimes it's aggression. Sometimes it's just sad periodically. Sometimes it's just frustration. Make a note. Any feeling you have that is of a certain level of intensity is fuel for what you really want. Any level of emotional intensity that you have, so it could be good or bad, doesn't matter, is huge fuel to get you what you want in terms of your body. Why is that important? It's important because unless you know what drives you, you may not have the ability to push through during the hard times. And in terms of hard times, let me tell you, when Helen first started, she asked to get a nice butt, to get rid of that cellulite in the back of her legs, a little bit on her arms. She's biting her teeth right now. She's like, Alan, I can't believe you told all these ladies that again. But it's the truth. It's what everybody goes through at some stage, right? That feeling alone, like even when I say that now, she still gets that. I mean, you can see it right in her face. She's like, when she does this, it means her emotions are going up. It could be angry. It's certainly not hungry. Trust me, it ain't hungry. If she does this, it means she either wants to go to the bags and smash something, or she wants to go out for a run. Like, the energy is higher. She wants to work her butt. That's right. Thank you, Ms. Helen Fong, for showing everybody your glutes once again. All right, good talk. Yeah, that's great. You keep patting away. This is what I've been dealing with since 2018, people. That's why it keeps it entertaining. But long story short, you know what? The whole lifestyle for Helen was a struggle because it was new, right? Take in comparison to driving a car. How many of you guys drive a car? I'm assuming everybody here probably drives a car, right, ladies? Yeah, absolutely. Do you remember the first time, either with an instructor or hopefully not, but it happens, maybe by yourself, you open the door, you close the door, you put those keys into the ignition, you turn it on for the very first time. Do you remember what it felt like, either right before you got in the car, or right when you closed the door, or even more, when you were just about to turn on the engine and it was time to get that car moving? Do you remember what that felt like? I don't know about for most of you, but for me, it was freaking terrifying because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Period. No idea. Here's what I've learned. The bigger the frustration, the bigger the reward. Everyone, please make a note of that. The bigger your frustrations, the bigger the reward. Now, why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because before you get in the gym, before you make the decision, before you go and say, I'm gonna change my body and I'm gonna look like this phenomenal lady over here, before you do that, it is essential that you know what kind of fuel you have, mental and physical, emotional and physical fuel you have for your body. Because here's why. You're gonna go through struggles. These next 3 days is not just gonna be about a rah, sounds good, everybody's pretty, oh my God, we look fantabulous and all that stuff. It's important, okay? We gotta look good, feel good. You know, I agree, I believe that. 50 really is the new 30. But these next 3 days is gonna be about what kind of struggles are you gonna face? Because you're gonna face them. And how, based on what you're already good at doing, how are you going to motivate yourself, drive yourself through the techniques and skills that we've got to share? How are you going to get yourself over those humps and problems? Because here's the big problem for most people. Most people are like, I got this dream, I got this body I want to go after. And they go after it, then there's a wall. They're like, oh crap, guess I can't have it. How many times have we done that? I've been guilty, right? In so many things in my life. I'm sure you probably feel the same way in some things. So is this process going to be any different? No. You're going to have your challenges here too. But guess what? Thanks to someone like Helen, who's gone through challenge after challenge after challenge. Like if I had to list for you the amount of challenges that we've had to overcome, I don't think I have a room in my apartment long enough to like roll out that piece of paper and read off to you. If this was a criminal record, she would be gone for like 10 lifetimes because it would just be list after list after list after list after list after list. We've gone through the first week, she did a leg exercise, for example, and she was determined, not strong, but determined. Like she was tired, and I said, okay, well, if that's all you got, that's fine. I didn't mean like, oh, you're a wussy, but she looked at me like, what, you think I'm a wimp? You think I'm a wimp? You think, really? And then I'm like, whoa, woman, it's your first week, calm down. She's like, well, yeah, oh, yeah. She just went nuts. And I thought, you know what? She's got energy, we'll just go with it. That's okay. People are looking at us, they're looking at me, she's yelling, she's making these grunting faces like she just got out of a Mexican jail, like, and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of teeth. Trainers look at me and I'm looking at them like, bro, first week. They're like, yeah, that's all good. Keep going, man, keep going. The next day, after all of that excitement, first challenge, she comes up the stairs. So my old gym, it was on the second floor. So you go through these double doors and then you have to walk up 2 flights of stairs. Helen isn't walking. So normally we walk upstairs like this, right? You know, hey, good morning, how you doing? She's walking like this. This is an exaggeration, but you'll get the idea. There's the stairs, here's the rails. I'm trying to be Helen. Going up the stairs was like hanging on for dear life. She gets to the top of the stairs. She looks me in the face. She says, Alan, I can't walk properly. I'm like, really? That's interesting. She says, yeah, my legs hurt like no tomorrow. I'm like, really? Good for you. All right, let's move on. She looked at me like, did you not hear me? Like, in short, you're asking about challenges? This is just a little splash of the stuff we went through. Now, why am I sharing that? Because in the end, they were amazing experiences. Through every problem we have, there is an equal or greater level seed of benefit. Through every problem we have, there's an equivalent seed of the same, or a much greater benefit. The challenge is that because we don't see what that thing is, many people, me included in the past, so I'm not pointing fingers, many of us go, oh, this is so difficult, I'll just drop off. Oh, I'm not seeing results after 2 days, 2 weeks, maybe a month, I'll just drop off. And I'm here to remind you that the more challenges you experience based on our past and present experiences, the more you are most likely to have some phenomenal results. Now, this is a hardwire reset because most people that have been around us, they've told us, oh, maybe it's just not for you. Maybe you're just doing it wrong. Have you heard that before? Like, have you ever heard, oh my God, like, I don't even know why you're doing this. You know, like, you're not really built for this thing. Like, I don't, maybe you should just give up. Either someone else has said that to you, or maybe you said that to yourself, right? This is super important because anytime you go after a new goal, mark my words, you will be met with some sort of challenge. And in that moment, it's going to be your defining factor. It's going to be your defining decision to say to yourself, not to anybody else, but to you, am I going to give up in this moment? Or am I going to do what Helen Fong did? And am I going to grab the rails of life and drag myself up for the next day? Because even though it freaking hurts, I know that the reward is going to be so much sweeter, so much more amazing on the other side, maybe in ways I've never had before in my life. And I know that sounds like such a nice song and dance, but my God, I mean, when I bring Helen back here later, maybe she'll tell you today, maybe she'll tell you later on, the way this woman lives now, it, like, if you had told me that this woman would come into my classes, beat the crap out of my 20-year-olds, out of my 18-year-old students, out of my 25-year-old students. And I run various programs from fitness to self-defense. I've got training events that I host for guys getting into military, women that are getting into law enforcement, a mix of civilians, regular, everyday, like, it's the whole shebang. And when Helen comes in, this is the most common reaction I get from my side students because, you know, I'm kind of proud. We spent some hard times and some good times building up this championship body she's got, which, by the way, all of you, Ivy, Melissa, oh, you two are already in ladies, real quick, Ivy and Melissa, we're super proud of. On a side note, these two have been with us for, I think Melissa's been about a year now. Ivy's been about since the summer. Their bodies are like, if I told you their ages, you'd say, Alan, you're lying to me. They look so good. Well, yes, they do. And so will you, if not already, right? Going through those steps and those challenges, God, I can't even, let me cut this short. Hi, Ivy, good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. My God, you look amazing as always. In short, ladies, all of your challenges are gonna be met with a decision. And what I'm hoping that you guys get, at least from this section of my rant, but I'm super passionate about it, is the belief of knowing that you're given those challenges because you're meant to step up in your fitness life. Now, I'm not talking about any other part of your life, okay? We're here for fitness. We're here to help you stronger, leaner, toned. But the rewards of being this amazing, like what this lady's got, and it is amazing. I mean, look, she's 50, she's coming up to 53. She does more push-ups than my 20-year-olds, some of them, several of them. She'll do cardio exercises that even my 30-year-olds would be like, I don't know. I've got some students that have been with me since 2015, and she still manages to outperform them. She'll keep going when they're stopping, and then they do this, like this deer in headlights thing, where they're super tired, their face is on the floor, and then they kind of slowly look up, and they go like this, and they're like super, like, big-eyed, because they're watching Helen just go, boop, 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 boop. They're like, I know what they're thinking. I know, they're like, how the hell is she doing that? She's 52. If you told me that a 52-year-old woman could look 32, I would have told you that you were lying 10 years ago. But now I know what's possible, and I know what's really possible for all of you. Which now leads me to the next section that I need all of you to have at least something to write with. Trust me, you don't want to commit this to memory because it'll be here today, It'll be gone later. And believe me, you are going to need this. You are going to need this. So here's the next part. Before we get into the whole details of eating and training, there's one thing that I need all of you to be fully aware of. And I've talked about this in other challenges, but I'm gonna dig in a little more today. The thing I wanna ask all of you is, when you came to this call, when you came and made the decision to invest time here with us, when you think of your body and your fitness, I want you to answer. You don't have to tell us, or you can throw it in the chat box, whatever you like. But I want you to answer this question for yourself. Super simple. When it comes to your body, who are you? Who are you? Now, a little more specific, what I mean by who are you? What I mean is, some people call it like your identity. Like, who is your identity? Like, for example, for your kids, who are you to your kids? Most of you, if not all, would say, well, I'm their mom. That's an identity, right? Like, you know, because you have a title, you also give yourself a certain list of roles that you know a mother should or should not do. Change the example. Let's talk about your job for a second. If I asked you, what's your job? You would say, well, I am a secretary. I am a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse. I am an executive. I am a whatever. The moment you say that, instantly you know what your list of tasks are for that job. Well, guess what? Here's what we learned. The people who move the fastest in the fitness life, in the fitness industry, and folks, let's face it, you are learning to incorporate, here in this call, you're learning to incorporate fitness into your life. So you don't have to be like this super mom or this super female. You don't have to be like if that's not your goal, you don't have to. You're not becoming fitness, you are just merging a portion of fitness lifestyles, actions, thoughts into your current daily habits. That's all you're really doing, right? So I want everybody right now to just take literally 30 seconds, and you need to have that list in front of you, because trust me, the next question will either make it or break it for you. It'll either determine how fast you go or how slow it might be, and that's not what we want. We want speed for you. Success loves speed, no joke. So everyone take 30 seconds and just write down a whole list of, when you think about yourself and you think about who you are as in terms of fitness, like, what do you want? Who do you want to become? Who are you now? Make that list as fast as you can, okay? I really need that participation, because if you don't, the rest of this is going to be super confusing. And mind you, this is what we do with our clients who actually pay us $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, $500 a month, whatever the denomination. They make very clear of who they are before they start the game, and you'll understand how much power there is behind just this one action that can catapult you into getting much faster results. 30 seconds. Ready, set, go. Write it all down. Write it all down. Write it all down. Anything that you got, just think about it. Write it all down. I'm just going to put the timer on. I'm going to need you to have that list out. Okay. You don't have to share it. This is solely for you, but you got to know, like, it's super important. Not knowing how you start is like going to school and not knowing what you're going to school for. It's like jumping into a job and not even knowing what's the job description. I just want to get paid. What's the likelihood of being successful in that, right? 10 seconds left, ladies. Just write it all down. They can be short form, one word, doesn't matter. Write it, get as much as you can, get as much as you can, get as much as you can. As much as you can. 3, 2, 1, time. Good. All right. Everybody, here's the next section. And you don't have to tell us. This is just a piece of paper for you to know where you're starting. Of all the things that you wrote, how many of those things are pre versus current? Pre versus current. What do I mean by this? What I mean is, current would be identifying yourself as who you are now or who you're becoming now. Now, does that mean you have to have success already? No. This is like when someone's going to become a pilot, and you ask them, so you know what, you got the pilot hat on, like, what are you doing? they'll usually say something like, I'm training to be a pilot, or I'm a pilot in training, right? This is current. Pre would mean before it actually happens. So then they would say something like, oh, one day I'm gonna be a pilot. Or in the future, somewhere down the road, I'm gonna learn to fly planes. I need you to take 10 seconds, if you haven't already, and just make a list of which one is, how many are current, how many are pre. So you can like circle the currents or put a C next to that. Pre, you can put P's in front of that. Everyone take 10 seconds, go ahead, do that now. Go ahead. 9, 5, 3, 2, 1, time. Good. All right, everybody, I'm hoping you already got all that down. Here's where the magic begins. 9 times out of 10, when I ask this question, you know what we usually get? We usually get this. I usually give more time because it's not usually over Zoom, but you know, thanks COVID, it's the best we can do. I'm glad that we have this at least, but usually I do this in live, like face to face. And this is normally what happens. I'll usually get like 1, 2, maybe 3 lines where it's current. Then what you usually get is like 10, 15, 20 words, lines of them saying one day. One day. Now, why is this important? It's important because if you look at your list, right now, and if this is you, where you got only a handful in the current and you have a whole lot like in the future down the road, one day, eventually, you know, I would love to look like Helen or whoever it is. If your sheet's loaded with this becomes the equation for most people where they go, oh yeah, I'm on this 90-day plan. And then it turns into like the 3-year plan. Or they're like, hey, I'm gonna try this 30-day challenge. And then they go through it and they don't even finish the challenge. Now, does this apply to everyone? No. Am I a scientist? Am I a geek magician guy that goes, here's my crystal ball. Oh, everybody does this. No. I'm not, let me tell you up front, I'm not that smart, but I'm very attentive. Okay, I'm not a guy that comes, I'm not like an Elon Musk. Oh, let's just figure out how to fly to Mars. No, I'm not that brilliant, but I super pay attention. And the one thing I've noticed is that when people struggle, a lot of times is that they struggle because in their minds, they've already pre-programmed that in the current, they don't belong. They shouldn't be, or they haven't built the identity, or they don't deserve, like the list goes on and on. But in conclusion, there's a part of them that says a whole bunch of negative about themselves, which usually leads to saying that one day I'll make it happen, which usually leads to telling the brain, okay, well, that day will come someday, but I just don't know when and how. Let me ask you a question. If you were to go to your job and on the date, your first day, during your interview, you're talking to your manager or your boss, they go through the whole interview and everything sounds nice. And then you or him bring up your salary. And instead of he or she saying, okay, you, miss, are going to gain from this job position, whatever, $50,000 a year in your salary. How would you feel if your manager or your boss ended up saying, well, we're going to give you $50,000 someday. Would that motivate you to take on that job? Or if they said, you know what, we're going to get you your salary and you're going to be paid $50,000. We're just not sure exactly when we're going to get that to you. But if you work really hard and you're here 5 days a week and you hit your 40 hours a week, you know what? You'll eventually get that wage. Now, I'm being corny, super sarcastic. I try really hard to be a little entertaining, but I'm real. Okay, like this is This is how I talk. My family thinks I'm nuts, but that's why they love me so much, because it's never boring in my household. And I'm sharing this with you. This is super vital, because notice that when I said that, you might have had a certain feeling, right? Was that feeling motivating? Yeah, let's go get it. Or was it, you gotta be kidding me? Somewhere along the line. As corny as that example sounds, that is exactly what 90% of people do before they allow themselves to get into their own fitness challenge. And this is super important, because so I'm talking I've been talking very theoretical per se, right? Here's where it gets literal. Like, this is how our brains actually function. And this part I have talked about in the last challenges and other challenges. I'm gonna keep repeating it, because without knowing it, we're leaving ourselves up to chance for success. And I don't like chance. There's chance already. I wanna know, when you and I go to war together, when we get into this fight together, are we in it to win? Or just kind of like, hope we win, or let's win, or, let's hug it out and then hopefully we're gonna get there. No. We're going to win, because we have strategies, and we've done it time after time after time after time. It's like following your GPS. Follow the GPS when it says turn left and then turn right, you'll get to your destination. But before you get the GPS, you gotta know what you're setting it to, right? Here's the interesting part. Every one of our brains has something called the RAS. This stands for the Reticular Activating System. I'm not gonna write that out because that's too long for me, and I write slow. But what is the Reticular Activating System? The Reticular Activating System is the thing in our subconscious mind. So we got two parts, right? There's a lot of parts to the brain, actually. But in the front, we've got the thinking part. So this is the part that goes, oh, what time do I have to be on this call today? Oh, what am I here to learn today? It's the processing part, but it doesn't carry the emotions. The emotions, emotions, so what? The emotions are the driver that make us take an action or pull back. All of us have an emotion. You being on this call, you had an emotion. For those of you that maybe invited someone who didn't take part in this call, they felt a certain emotion too, right? That only happens here in the back of the brain. And the challenge for most of us is that when we don't know what we're trying to go after, the RAS is like turning on your GPS, throwing a random location out and going, there, let's just drive there. And guess what happens? We don't hit our goals. So if we're not clear on who we are stepping into this game, the RAS just kind of goes, well, there's this goal, that goal, this goal, that goal, that goal, this goal, this goal, this goal, that goal, this. And then the brain starts looking for everything and anything that leads us to nothing. Sounds confusing, right? It is. Here's the counter opposite. Have you ever bought a dress? Have you ever bought a blouse? Have you ever bought an outfit? Or thought about buying an outfit that you just thought, oh my God, if I buy this, oh boy, that thing looks so good. That's probably gonna look good on me too. And because you liked that outfit so much, maybe you bought it, maybe you're thinking about buying it. But notice that as you thought and felt about that clothing item, as the days went on and the weeks went on, you start to notice, hey, she's wearing that same outfit that I was looking at. Hey, I thought they didn't have, well, all of a sudden she's got it on too. Hey, wait a minute. I just saw, it looks like she's wearing the same thing that I bought or I'm thinking about buying. Well, did that just happen because you thought about it and all of a sudden it was like ESP, like, okay, every woman out there wants to get it now? No, it's because your brain got locked into one particular item in that moment. And your RAS said, okay, this is now important to me. And because it's important to me, I am now going to unconsciously recognize every single thing in my life that relates to that one thing. which in this case is a piece of clothing. Well, does it limit you just to clothing? Does it work only to the things you buy or the things you wear? It's on all the time, 24 hours, 7 days a week, whether you're awake or sleeping. It is actively working all the time to bring to you, to your attention, all the things that are massively important to you in your life. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because if you go to school, they don't teach this in school. Well, sorry, they never taught me in school. I mean, did they ever teach you this stuff in school? Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I never learned this until after my 30s. And I gotta tell you, the moment I knew this existed, my life changed completely in so many ways. Helen, going back to Helen and why this relates to you, I just went on about that for 10 minutes, by the way. So some of you are like, that was a long time, Alan. It was, but I just saved you 12 months of pain. You're welcome. Here's why. 2018, me and Helen, did we have this talk? No. Did she think about her identity walking into the gym? No, she just wanted a nice butt. Nothing wrong with that. Cool, you want a nice butt? I'm happy to help you get a nice butt. That's fine. There's lots of machines for that. I'll just show you how to do it. But here's the thing. In 2018, the only thing that Helen wanted was just one piece of her body to look nicer. Okay, sorry, two. She wanted her butt to look nicer. She wanted her legs to look nicer. She just wanted that to look nicer. But did that change her identity as a woman? No. And rightfully so. You don't have to do that. Like, all the stuff I'm talking about, folks, you don't have to do this, okay? You don't. But here's what happened as a result. Here's what happened. Helen went from 2018 to 2019. So literally, it was actually over a year. Can you guys see that? Crap. Maybe no more red. Yeah, okay there. 2018 to 2019, we did not talk about identity. We did not talk about any of this stuff. And so for a whole year, one whole year, folks, how much progress did she get? How much hard work did she put in? A lot, like a lot. Why? It's because every time she had to do something new, like if this is a timeline from 2018 to 2019, there was a lot of change that she had to do. You'll have to go through something similar. Good change, right? But every time she had to go through a change, an improvement, a new thing, her mind, just like mine, I've gone through it too. I had to learn this along the way. Was like, no, we're not doing that. No, okay, we have to do that. Oh, but it's so tough. Oh, it's such a struggle. People do that. It's only because they haven't built the identity of who they want to become. And as simple as that sounds, if you don't take the moment, just a few minutes to be like, what do I want this body to really look like? Not just what you think you can, okay? Like there's playing it safe, like, okay, like here. And then there's like, if I had J-Lo's chef and her trainer, and if I had as much time as Helen and all the gym passes that Helen's had and all the foods that she's eaten, plus J-Lo's this and that, like if I had all these things, then I could have it. Like I'm talking about that kind of body, that kind. When you have that kind of thought, what happens to you, most likely it will happen because it happened to her. And here's what I mean. From the beginning of 2019 to the end of 2019. So we're talking about one full year. In one full year, Helen's decision to go, okay, I want more than a nice bum now. I'm ready for more. February 4th, 2019, she looks me in the face, says, Alan, I want to do it. I look at her with the confusion, like, you want to do what? And she says, I want to go and compete on stage. I looked at her confused because I tried to ask her for 8 months almost, and she said no. I stopped asking her in November. She said it again in February. So imagine how many months went by where we didn't talk about it. She hits me with that and says, let's do it. I'm like, I don't know what the hell just happened. Like, what happened? Who are you? What's going on? But guess what happened from that moment? It only took from February to April. In 3 months, her body was primed, it was leaned, it was toned, it was, in 3 months, she got more results, physical, like you can see it results, than what she got through the whole year of 2018 to 2019. No joke. And there's proof, because on April 27th, 2019, she competed. That's when she competed on her first competition. And she did so well, she ranked second in her category against a whole lineup of women that had been training and doing shows for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And that was her first show. Now I'm sharing this to you, not because you want to get on stage. Maybe you do, maybe one day, I don't know. You know, it's cool to have that dream. But maybe because in your mind, you're thinking, you might be thinking, well, can I do this? Can I not do this? I don't know if I can do this. And that's cool. We all go through that. I'm not trying to take that experience away from you. I'm just trying to help you see that there's something past that. But in order to do that, you've got to know one thing. One simple thing, ladies. One simple thing. And that is, I'm going to break this down to 2 parts because we have 2 categories of ladies here. We've got ones that are new and we have ones that are experienced. Both apply, and I want to give to both. Me and Helen do. So let me share with both, okay? If you're new to this game of transformations, and I call it a game because it's a hell of a lot of fun when you start seeing yourself in photos and you're like, oh, I didn't know my arms looked that good, but they do. I didn't know that my legs or my body could look that amazing, but they do now. How the hell did that happen? That's Helen's voice for pretty much the first 6 months of her transformation. And now it's going to be yours too. If you make this very clear in your mind, okay? In order for you to make a change fast, you still gotta work, you still gotta know what to do, you still gotta apply. But you can take 12 months and condense it down to 6, 5, 4, 3 months if you know exactly what your steps are, or at least how to overcome your challenges. All you gotta know is who do you want to become? With clarity. So for example, if I asked you, hey, who do you want to look like? Who do you want to become? Like, what kind of body do you really want to build for yourself? And you said, oh, I just want to look fit. Okay, 12 months, here we come. And I'm not trying to be exaggerative of being rude. I say it with respect. The brain likes specificity. It goes after things that it can see or feel or recognize with detail. So if you said to me, I want to look in the next 90 days, I want to look like Helen Fong. I want to have arms like her that are toned. I want to have a lean figure. I want to be able to put on a dress or a 2-piece outfit and feel like I'm 25 again. I want to have that experience of taking photos and I can see the linings of the sides of my abs, like I've got a 6-pack in there, but it's nothing crazy where it looks like a grill that you can put your clothes in and wash it on. I don't want it that nuts. You give yourself that level of specificity, you will get results faster because now you're commanding that part of your brain, the RAS, to now look for everything and anything in your reach that'll help you get that result faster. So at the end of this call, I'm going to ask you to do that for yourself. Really take a few minutes and ask yourself, who do I really want to be? What do I really want to look like? Right? Super important. Super. You do that. You take these 3 days, you can take off. You can go on YouTube, you can go to your local gym, you can start your home workouts. And over the weeks, you will see progressions. You will see progressions. If you take every piece of these next 3 days, don't just listen. It sounds nice. I know I'm a little corny sometimes, highly entertaining, I got to tell you. But at the end of the day, you make this stuff happen for you. You will come back here before summer and be like, guys, can I share? Helen, Alan, can I show you my photo? Is this legal? And then I'll probably say, yeah, go ahead. Or we'll say, oh God, this is nice, good for you, but you gotta put more clothes on. You look great, but you gotta put more clothes on. It'll be one or the other, right? How amazing would that feel for you? To know that you can have that kind of result. It's available for you. You just gotta know how. And this is the first step. If you're new, plan out who you want to become. Get some pictures, get some photos posted everywhere. You don't even have to believe it. That's the beautiful part. You don't even have to believe it. You just need clarity on where you want to head to, okay? Now, if you are the opposite, you're more seasoned. You've been here a while. You've spent time with me and Helen. You've gotten 80, 90, 99% of your body. You've already got it. You've already got it. I'm imagining in my head already right now, the two ladies that are here. We know what your bodies look like. We've worked side by side with you, either from afar or day to day, almost face to face. We know what you've become. But no matter how good we get, there's always that next level, and everybody's chasing it. So now that becomes the question of, how do I get that one body part to look like X? How do I get that one body part to look like whoever? And I keep going back to who, because when we think about how we think, guess what? Do you think there's a chance that your mind is already programmed to attach other people's results to your own? Like when you think about becoming a teacher, a coach, going to your job, becoming a parent, and you think about what that experience might be like, do you ever wonder how your brain just starts popping up images of past experiences or people's faces, and almost like attaches you to that mental experience? I mean, it even applies to music. Do you have a favorite piece of music that you love to listen to? And when you listen to it, is there a face or an experience that gets attached to that music? And it could be anything. It could be the favorite band that you have. It could be listening to that song and it brings you back to that time in your life where it was like an amazing moment. Maybe not an amazing year, month, day, but maybe in that moment, an amazing moment in your life. Does it bring you back to a time where you thought about an amazing person or people that you spent time with? Chances are, is you're probably saying, well, yeah. Now notice that you start to think of images. Now that's key, that's super important, because again, that's your RAS going, this is important to me. So I'm gonna bring up this memory and as much as I can about this memory. Well, when going for goals, things you haven't had before, there's no memory attached because it's in the future. So how can we have a memory of something we haven't had yet, right? Well, that process of remembering the experience with the music, that's actually the same or very similar experience that you use to forecast results in advance. So if you can do that for yourself, give yourself a similar feeling, a similar thought of like, what's that body part? Like, is it gonna be your abs? Is it gonna be your butt? How's it gonna look in a dress? How's it gonna look in your two-piece bikini? If you can make that visualization, or even better, find pictures or videos of females that you would love to resemble, this will kick in the same way. And this is essential because remember, these next 3 months are gonna come no matter what. These next 12 months are going to come no matter what. You are going to live your life no matter what. If this is a timeline, the question is, in 12 months, where are you going to be? I can tell you from personal experience, the clearer these two are, the sooner you can have the results you want. But the further away that these are not, the more that there's no time or very little time invested in these, the further your results end up getting pushed back. And that is so essential to know, because this is usually, and here's problem number one. Everyone just make a note of this. We get this all the time. Problem number one, why am I not getting the results I want? Why am I working so hard and I look in the mirror and I still see the same body or a similar body? You know how heartbreaking that is for me and Helen? It sucks. And I would sound like a jerk to tell them in their face. So most of the time I don't. Really, I don't. Maybe it's just me being weak sauce. I don't know. But in that moment, I actually just want to say to them, you're taking a lot longer to get your results because you don't even know what you're trying to shoot for. You have an idea, but it's not clear. And because it's not clear, your mind and your actions can't find the additional things that are being presented in your life in order to make that result happen in a much shorter, simpler period of time. And when I say simpler, I mean simpler, folks. Like, quick example, side note, I'm going to digress a little bit here, but just so you understand how simple it can be. One of the defining factors that keeps Helen lean is we looked at everything. We looked at her training. COVID kicked in, 0 training. We had to go to Zoom. It's not the same as going to the gym. It's similar, it's still good, but it's not the same as getting on the leg press. It's not the same as getting on the bench press, right? It just hits your body in a different way. So instantly we both thought, crap, we're in trouble. We're representing a brand here. Helen has to keep her body. But how do you do that when you no longer have access to a gym? Well, knowing that out of everything we do, only 30% is training. The rest of it is from what goes in your mouth. We then started looking at our supplements. And to make a long story short, all we did is we took this one brand, we switched it for another brand, we tested it on her body, and just like that, within 2 weeks, she already started to drop more body fat. Yet she was working out on only 30 minutes a day on average versus the hour and a half that she was pumping out pre-COVID. Now think about that for a second. Helen, can you do me a favor and just kind of do your famous double bicep pose? Come on, stick up the arm, show them the biceps, show them the biceps. So when we do that, Helen's like, oh my God, you put me on the spot. Why? Why? It's because they look good. Everybody wants to see them. Come on, do it one more time, one more time. Usually for her to do that, to stay this lean, this is usually an hour and a half in the gym, right? Like, I know I'm kind of putting her on the spot and I'm teasing a little, but you got to admit, ladies, she's pretty lean. Guess what? She's able to sustain this now on 30 minutes a day on average using Zoom and changing the structure of how she eats. Notice I said change the structure. I did not say magic air diet. You got to eat. I didn't say eat like a rabbit. We like food. I'm sure you do too. It's just changing the macros and paying attention to what works, what doesn't. Like, talk about simple, right? Like, before, for her to keep this, oh God, like, she had to see me in the morning. We would train hard, like hard. I treat her like a guy. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes she'd be like, I'm so tired. I'm like, give me 20 more. She's like, okay, fine. And she'd just go crazy and try to do it. It was an hour at the gym every day. And then at night, she would still have to go to a hot and sweaty, like, burn your buns off yoga session. That's not yoga. It was actually like cardio fitness in a boiling hot room that they classified as yoga, probably for legal purposes. I don't know. But she had to do that 5 days a week to look like this. Now, 30 minutes a day. Why am I saying this? Again, it's because whenever we were stuck with a challenge, we made sure that RAS was active. We made sure, we never said, okay, we're stuck. Now what do we do? Oh no, we've got limitations now. We can't keep up with your maintenance. We never let those words come out. All we kept doing was saying, okay, how do we fix this? How do we make it better? How do we keep you lean? What's available to us right now that we're not seeing? Like, what's here that can help you that we're not seeing right now? But we didn't do this. Oh, what's going to help you? Oh, well, yeah. No. We put our emotion behind it. But folks, this is super important because look, me and Helen, in closing for this part of my explanation, we've had some amazing people come into our life. And that's what drives us to keep sharing these programs with you. We're addicted. We're addicted to the feeling of getting the call, the email, the text message. Thank you. My husband can't keep his hands off me. Thank you. I'm a recent divorcee and trying to get back out in the world. It's uncomfortable. But on Tinder, these guys are like almost half my age and I feel almost bad to message them back. But I do. So thank you very much. Like, I don't know what it is, but I know that level of confidence through fitness doesn't make your life go down. It kicks it way up. Let me ask you, How many things have you felt like in your life were just at arm's reach away, but you couldn't have it? Maybe because of a lack of confidence. Maybe it's because the voices in the head were like, I don't know if I can have that. I don't know if I deserve that. I don't know if that, like, I see everybody else get it, but is that really something I can have for me? And then that thought just stays and it festers. And I mean, come on, you know what it's like. It doesn't just stay at that level of like uncertainty. It actually starts to grow. Well, through this work, that gets eradicated. Confidence goes way up. Uncertainties go way down. And I'm telling you, when you can live in this area of your life, things that used to be impossible for you, they become very possible, beyond possible. Helen is a living example of what's truly possible. Not for her anymore, okay? Like, we keep talking about her. It's like, guys, we get it. But it's not just about her. It's about you. She stepped up first and said, I don't know if this really can work for me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And she is now the living result of what you amazing ladies are really capable of doing. And I say amazing because look, like, I got a mom, I've got a sister, I see what they have to go through. My sister had a kid, but my mom had two of us. It wasn't easy. I for sure was not easy to deal with, but it's how you manage to balance like work life and family life and, personal time and like social time and all this other stuff. If you put me in there, I'd be dead. I'd be like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I can't do what you do. So for the fact that we're talking about fitness, my take is, if you can be the amazing moms, the amazing supporters that you are, if you can balance your life, even though sometimes it might be a struggle to balance it, you still do it. If you can do that, the fitness game is a lot simpler once you know what your steps are, okay? So in closing, and we're gonna open up a Q&A here real quick if anybody has any questions. Recap everything that we talked about so you know what to bring for tomorrow. Just 1 second. Oh, Helen's waiting. Hi, Helen. Hi, one second.
Sorry, someone
Yes.
tried to come in all the way from South America, but somehow she came in.
Oh, wow.
You could not hear. She can see us, but she could not hear you. So yeah, someone.
Oh, you know that. Just if you have access to her now, Helen.
Yes.
Just message her and ask her to check her audio settings.
Oh.
Just ask her to check the audio settings.
Yeah, I thought
that's on her side, not ours.
Okay, I thought it was
That's okay. That's okay.
From,
no problem.
South America.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's all good.
Oh,
just,
okay.
If you can message her, please do. Okay. Sweet. Okay. All right. So quick recap here, folks. For tonight, all I'm going to ask you to do is this. Number one, select an identity for yourself that you don't have to believe you can do it. Okay. Someone who you would like to model. Modeling is a Tony Robbins. For those of you that are TR students, amazing guy. Tony always talks about modeling, and he says, in many cases, whatever you're trying to go after, if you try to figure it out yourself, oh my God, it might take you forever. But if you find someone who's already successful at what they do, you can model them. And a lot of times you can take their 10, 20 years of expertise to get the result and get it in half the time, or sometimes in a quarter of the time, or sometimes even less. So modeling is just about speed. Find somebody who you believe you would like to look like at some level and put that face, that body, as in many places as you can. Put it in your phone, print it out, stick it in your car, put it in your bathroom. Sounds a little ridiculous, I know, but we're talking about exponential results here. You are in this call and you represent the 10% of people out there that are willing to do whatever it takes. You just investing your time here already shows that you're not a normal thinker. You want more, right? And that's the first step to getting it. Before I go on, Miss Fong, yeah.
I think you have to let somebody in, or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just on pause. It says joining. Sometimes it's slow. It's okay. They're coming in.
Sorry,
we're good. We got them. No problem at all. Thank you for reminding. Very good. Hi, nice to see you. Welcome aboard. So number one. Oh, and real quick, for those of you that might have come in late or not able to see it all, we've got a guy that works for us. His name's Sammy, wonderful guy. We're gonna send this video recording to Sammy. He's gonna clean it up. He's gonna shoot it in the group for you so you can watch it at your own time, pick up the details whenever you want, okay? Number two, when we talk about identity, what you're really looking for is to find out, this is gonna sound crazy, okay? But I'll explain the backstory behind it. You gotta find out, what do they believe in? What are their habits? Okay, around that thing that you're trying to accomplish. Here's why. There's a doctor out in the internet, you can Google him. His name is Richard Bandler. And what Richard Bandler does is he takes human psychology, he trains people in this thing called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP for short. And he finds out two things. He finds out, what are the greatest people in the world? What do they do? How do they do it? The Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods, in their field, in their respective field, right? And then he takes the counter opposite. People who just can't seem to get through life. They're having challenges galore. Maybe they end up in a drug addiction. Maybe they just end up repeating, like, being homeless, like, because they feel like they just can't get out in the world and just participate in a regular, normal sort of way. I mean, you have the highs and lows, and there's no judgment here, right? What Richard Bandler does is he actually interviews these people, and he finds out through a series of questions, well, how do you think? How do you see your life? How do you see yourself? And he goes through this list. He compiled thousands of people, and he found out through 15 years of research, like, that's a long time, right? That guy was patient. What he found out is that the people who end up doing incredibly well at anything, including fitness transformations, no matter what the field is that they're in, when they're the high level achievers, they have a certain way of believing in both themselves, like, what is it that they really can do, especially when they feel like they're failing. That's key. And they have a certain way of perceiving the world and the environment around them. In other words, their experiences. Example, you can take two people, and let's say they both get hit, pop. One person could take it as, oh my God, this person's trying to attack me. This other person can take it as, oh, well, they just tripped. It's the same experience, but perception is what changes their reactions and their emotions. Richard Bandler found out that they have a certain belief about how the world operates. And they found out what their daily habits are in order for them to become that next level elite, something that we all look up to kind of person. I would argue that if you took the time to pick the person you want to model and then found out those two things about them, if you only got these two from this call, you didn't come Saturday, you didn't come Sunday, you didn't learn about nutrition or anything else or anything of the sort, and you left with just these two alone, wherever you are right now, I believe you would still excel, even without us. Now, I'm not saying leave, okay? Like, we got more to share, of course. But if you only got these two, I promise you, I guarantee you, you will get 10 times further in your fitness success, fitness results. You will have that morning that Helen's had, that I've had, that so many others have had, where we wake up in the morning and we're like, damn, that looks good. And that's not even somebody else, that's me. It's not out of arrogance. This is not being cocky. This is not arrogance. This is pride. Pride as in something that we have earned it. No one gave it to us. We didn't buy it. No, we didn't cheat anybody or anything for it. It was something that we had to grind for. And when you grind for something, but you know who you're modeling, you know what they believe, so you can adopt it. And then you find out what the habits are so you can practice them as well. You would be astonished how much further in developing your own body you can get, because all the problems that you go through, they went through. All the uncertainties you've had, they've had it too. uncertainty you bring to my table, I'll tell you right now, Helen has had that times 2. I don't care what it is. Genetics, oh, it's horrible. I was born this way, oh my God, horrible. Every time I look in the mirror, it's like, my bum just goes like this. Like, what the hell is that, Helen? She's like, I'm trying to show you what my bum looks like. I'm like, I don't want to see that, but I get it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is that you think you can't do. This woman and so many others like her have had this similar, if not the exact same challenges as you. And look at them. Look at them. They overcame their uncertainties, their challenges. They might have had to work a little harder. They might have had to wait a little longer. Patience is key. But they figured it out. And guess what? Science is so good now that you are not gonna die. And knock on wood, okay? If I have wood, there's wood. We are supposed to live until at least 100 because nutrition's getting better, science is getting better. If you are 50, guess what? If this is your timeline and you're in your 50s or close to, you're only at the halfway line. You got another 50 years to go at least. So let me leave you with this question. Do you want to spend the next 50 years feeling your sexiest? Oh yeah. Or do you want to feel the next 50 years? I hate to say this, but we got to be real here. As some people do, where they look at themselves every day and they go, I don't like what I see. I am 50 and I feel like I'm 60. I look at all these other people that have these amazing figures and I don't understand why I can't have it too. Now, one day of thinking of that, okay, 2, 3, a month, okay. A year of feeling that way, 2 years, oh. Part of why we are here is that we do not, let me capitalize that, like the big D, we do not want you to fall into that trap. And to me, that's a BS trap. Why? Because we're now living the experience of getting over these problems. It's not a problem anymore. You know, when something is so difficult and you look at it, it's like, oh my God, it's so difficult. This problem is so difficult. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And then you get somebody beside you that goes, oh, just do it like this. And you're like, how the hell did you do that? Have you ever had somebody that just showed you if something was so simple, but originally we thought it was like, oh my God, this is going to be hell. This is so hard, right? I've had that so many times. I'm sure you have too. Well, guess what? Helen is now showing you it's still a challenge. It's always going to be, but it's a challenge that you can beat, that you can overcome. And it's not just rah-rah because she at 49, no gym experience, 0. The hardest thing that she ever had to do, challenging game of tennis. Tennis is challenging, but it's totally different from weightlifting, right? It's totally different from the 2-3 hour grind. She succeeded. Now it's your turn. And the way you start is by analyzing exactly this. On tomorrow's call, I'm going to bring Helen back here, but on tomorrow's call, what we're going to do is we're going to take the plan of action. And the plan of action works like this. Every athlete, beginner or advanced, has a certain way of waking up in the morning, of adding nutrition to their body, and activating their metabolisms. There's different ways of doing it because there's essentially 3 different types of metabolism. Every single person here is one of the 3. You are one of the 3, I'm one of the 3. The interesting part is that if we follow the generic advice of if you eat healthy and work out, you'll be fit, that'll only get you so far. But if you want that custom tailored, designed, shredded, lean image, that ideal image that almost seems too good to be true, if you want that for yourself, you've got to know what is your metabolism type, which one of the 3, what's the best way to consume food that supports your body to do 2 things. And no, it's not lose weight. Lose weight, take that idea, throw it out the window. Because it's like, it's the last thing on the list that we should ever look at. But, social media tells us otherwise. Oh, lose weight, blah, blah. Nah, screw that. Body weight or body fat and muscle percentage are the only things that really matter. Because when this is in line, when the muscle is high and the body fat's low, you get the ideal body that you dream of, regardless of weight. Your weight just follows accordingly. And we're going to talk about how you can do that for yourself on tomorrow's call. Okay? Miss Fong, I need you to come on back here and happily share some questions. Or ladies, if you have any questions for Helen or for myself, feel free. This is Q&A time and we are here for you.
Okay.
We're here for you. Helen?
Thank you so much, Helen. I was just sharing some tips for the ladies individually about
Cool.
first thing women come to me is they want to lose weight. But after getting into the fitness industry, that's one thing I don't focus on about the weight, this number on the scale. Something I never thought. And then what we focus, like Ellen said, is really the body fat, reducing body fat and increase muscle. The way I look right now, my weight actually is sometimes higher and sometimes lower, depending on my muscles. And in the past, I wasn't overweight, but my muscles were very small. And because my muscles were small, so my body fat was high. That's why when he said cellulite around my glutes, that's what happened. So when I got into the industry, the fitness industry, I noticed, wow, it's all about reducing body fat and increase the muscle simultaneously. That's why, yes, that's why so many bodybuilders look so good. They're heavy. They could be 300 pounds, but they look amazing, right? So that's what I wanted most of the women to really pay attention, is reducing body fat, and there are ways that we can do that without starving yourself.
100%. That's exactly what we're going to cover on tomorrow's call as well. This has been such an amazing first day. Ladies, are there any questions or comments? Maybe you've got some in there, Helen. Is there anybody that wants to share or ask anything before we go?
Yes, yeah, this is the best part, is about questions, because we wanted to get to know all this lady. Thank you, Catherine, for allowing us to see your home and your beautiful face. Yes, and Kita, thank you. Yeah, questions. Anyone, how do we find our metabolism type, from Catherine?
Well, I'm glad you asked. That's a whole new topic by itself.
Yes.
Kathleen, we're going to discuss that on tomorrow, because I could just tell you right now, you'll want the details for tomorrow. So you've got, in short, you have an ectomorph, you got an endomorph, you got a mesomorph. Sounds like Spanish if I spoke Spanish, but I don't. But it sounds really alien, right? Like, what the hell is that? All that is just a term for fast metabolism, slow metabolism, optimal metabolism. What's the difference between that? One is like skinny. Like Helen, when I met her, she was skinny, hard to build muscle anywhere, and she always gained fat in her glutes. So it was like skinny, glutes. Tough to build muscle on her. So to do that, you have to play almost like a scientist. You have to play with the carbs and the proteins and know how to balance them week to week, which sounds complicated, but when you actually have somebody walk you through it, it's not. I do not enjoy using fancy terms. Everything for me is super basic. So your ability to absorb from me on tomorrow's call will just be like, it's like grade 3 stuff. I like it like that. I tell people all the time, I like it simple. So for you, actually, you can do it tonight. Ladies, why don't you do this tonight, okay? Figure out for yourself, and you don't have to be accurate. You just gotta try, have some fun with it. Based on your current structure, figure out for yourself, are you an ectomorph? Are you a mesomorph? Or are you an endo? And the way that you know is that an ectomorph, when they're not working out, or even when they are, really, they're just generally skinny. You're the one that gets classified as, oh, you're trying to lose weight, but you look so thin all the time. That's what your friends say. Oh, you're trying to like get on a diet program? Where? Every time you turn sideways, you disappear. How is this possible? Like, that would classify you as an ectomorph, okay? An endomorph is the exact opposite, where even when you work out or you don't, you have a little chocolate, you have a little ice cream, a little cake, and then the next morning you look like you had 9 of them. That was me. That's still me. I am classified as an endomorph. If I do not work out, my face is long here. Go back 10 years, it was just as long as it was wide. I did not have I blow up here. I blow up on my butt. I blow up everywhere. I look like the Goodyear blimp. If you can imagine an Asian guy looking like that, it's just not nice, right? Endomorph, we gain super easy. And then the mesomorph, no matter how much they gain, especially body fat, they always seem to manage to keep broad shoulders and a thinner waist. They could gain fat pockets everywhere, like their glutes might completely be out, or their legs might blow up, or their arms might have extra meat or extra body fat. But no matter what happens to the body, that structure of broad shoulders, lean waist, it always stays. And if you are that person, I envy the crap out of you, because you tend to change the fastest. Helen's type tends to change the fastest as the second. Then endos like me, we take longer to change. But for you endomorphs out there, don't feel bad. Of all the 3, we keep the muscle the longest. Yay. You just can't see it because it's covered with fat. But we can melt it off, right? Building muscle is sometimes a lot harder than melting fat. So that's the advantage we have. And we're going to discuss tomorrow 2 things: how to eat accordingly. So even if you're not working out, check this out. Even if you don't work out, you can still sustain a certain, what we consider a certain attractive frame. For when you put your clothes on, you still have something to be proud of. You could still feel confident. You could still feel good. You could still feel lighter in a way where, even without working out, and I don't recommend not working out, I'm just saying if you don't, there are still big benefits for you, for your lifestyle, for your body change, just from changing the structure of the macro program, or the macros as in, sorry, that was a bigger word. Macro is protein, fats, and carbs, that mix, right? Macronutrients, so the larger nutrients. If you change the structure based on what your body needs, game on. You're gonna start to see some nice improvement. On the flip side, if you don't know what that is, that's where people go, I'm trying, it's not working, I'm trying, I'm eating right, I'm trying, and I still hate the way my body looks. That's the trap we want you to avoid. So that you want to know about tomorrow, and we're going to give it all to you for free. Or tomorrow, I just dropped my pen on tomorrow's call. Okay. Any other questions before we roll out for today, ladies? Miss Helen, go ahead.
Kita, I think the general question women ask is, how do I lose weight?
The only way to lose weight. Yeah. We can talk about it tomorrow, but in short, the easiest way to understand is that weight comes from calories. Calories come from essentially food. And how many calories your body needs is the amount of calories we should be consuming. So for example, I usually tell my clients, Helen usually tells hers, if you're just sitting at the computer all day, you might need 12 to 1400 calories. That's super low. Maybe 1600 if you have to work really, really fast. But most people will eat 1800, 2000, 2200 calories, which means that if you have excess calories, it gets stored as body weight. Now, we all know this, right? Like, that's not new news. Everybody knows it. So instantly people go, oh crap, that means I have to diet. No, you got to eat. However, you've got to learn how to eat larger volumes of food that have lower calories versus what most people have been taught to do, which is eat small little foods that have a crap load of calories. So they have to eat a lot of it to get full. When you know that structure and you make that change, you're going to enjoy food. Helen enjoys food, lots of it, and she can still look lean like that. So if you want to know how to eat lots of food and still look like her, then you come to tomorrow's call, because that's what we're going to share.
Should we share with them something that they can do today to prepare for tomorrow, because it's very essential that
yeah so for today it was that was right on point. Identity is the thing that I want all of you to know,
Right.
And then these two finding out their beliefs and habits. Now you can't really just know by calling them like, hey, Michael Jordan, if it was Michael Jordan. So what are your habits? Like, it's not going to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you take 10, 20 minutes, go on YouTube, find out what they do. Like, look at their life through their social media.
Right.
You can get an idea at least as to how they spend their time. And if you have a fitness lady that you want to model, maybe it's Helen, maybe it's Jillian Michaels, maybe it's J-Lo. Google them. A little research goes a long way when you know what to research for. And getting these three, in my opinion, in our opinion, if you needed like a cheat sheet or a fast track, this alone will take this kind of time for results and make it like this.
Mm-hmm.
But without this, yeah, most people, 3 months ends up being like a year, 2 years, 3 years. That's the thing we're going to help you avoid.
And also for tomorrow, I'm not sure if you ladies, some of you already using it, is there's this a calorie app that I use. It's called MyFitnessPal, and you can actually get it from your phone. Who have put your hand up or put in the chat who have used MyFitnessPal? Why do one want to use it? Because it does represent what you're putting in your body. The macro, when Alan said how much protein from each food item. So it tells you exactly the calorie, the protein, carb, and fat. Because sometimes nowadays, women are eating so much that they are not even aware of what they're putting in the body. So having that app really tracks all the nutrient, right? So by doing that tomorrow, you will have an idea what we are sharing, and just to to prepare you ladies ahead. It's a free app, but if you wanted to increase it to a premium, I think it's a small cost, but you don't need the premium, just have it for free. It's called MyFitnessPal. It's very popular. I think over millions are using it, and Alan can
100%.
well, every time we
we'll definitely cover that for tomorrow for sure. I'm glad that you actually said that, folks. Just looking at the app can give you an idea of how to use it. So if you get a few minutes, take a look at the app, check it out, play around with it. Don't get too much into it unless you really love apps. Some people get confused, but at least get a little exposed to it today, as Helen said. So tomorrow, when we start talking about macros, you'll have a better idea of not only what macros are, but your ability to know what you're consuming on a day-to-day basis. And that's super essential, at least for the first few weeks. So you build the habit of eating to build your body versus just eating because you're either hungry or you're bored or whatever the case is. We all fall into that trap, right? We're just getting you out of that trap so you can build muscles the way you want to. Awesome. Ladies, this has been fun. I really enjoyed spending time with all of you here today. I'm not kidding. It means a lot to us to be able to share this with you. Thank you so much for your time, your attention. And we're excited. We got 2 more packed days to share with you. Please don't be shy in that group that we've set up. It's there for you. Questions, comments, things you're uncertain about, things you want us to bring up in this call, bring it. Because we're here only to share with you. As you can tell, there's nothing to buy here. We're not asking for credit cards. We're not holding back. This is like unveiling the lid off the top of like this amazing piece of training that we usually reserve just for our private clients. But we don't want to reserve it. We want to give it to you. All you got to do is ask. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with us as well. Let's close off for today. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Melissa, thank you so much for being here. Maria, fantastic to have you. Kathleen, love the questions. Well done. Keep bringing it, okay? Julie, good to see you as well. Barb and Doris, we're honored to have you here with us today. We'll see you all on tomorrow's call. Have a great afternoon, great evening, whenever you're talking to us, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Helen, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much for,
bye, everyone.
for this great time. Thank you, Doris, Catherine, Maria, Barb, Doris. I'll see you ladies tomorrow. Thank you.